All right, what's up, 521 Conference in the house? How you guys doing? You doing good? I find it incredibly difficult after those last 2 points to share anything, because I don't know how many other people, your toes are smushed, your heart is convicted like crazy. But wasn't Pastor Carey great? Oh my word, and Pastor Larry before, unbelievable. It's so cool when, especially in New England, we are a part of something so incredibly special that, and a couple of our pastor friends, 10 years from now, when there are churches everywhere and thousands of people coming to know Jesus, people are going to say, where did all these churches come from? Where did all these churches come from? They came from this room. They came from this room. They came because of Pastor Sean and Brian and Taylor and all these guys putting together, spending tons and tons of money to make sure that we get the best coaching available. So I appreciate them. Let's put our hands together for Grace Church for hosting this. At Granite, anyways, my name is Holloway. I'm one of the pastors at Granite United Church. My lead pastor is Pastor Anthony Miles. He's not able to be here today, and so it's really cool that Pastor Sean asked me to come in here and talk about, just to share a couple of things for us today. I know how much, how many of you guys have been to the Warrior Conference? Anybody ever been to the Warrior Conference? Warrior Conference, it's awesome. Something we've been doing almost 20 years. Next year will be our 20-year anniversary. And it costs a lot of money, time, energy to put on things like this. And so you want to make it worthwhile. So I hope you guys are going to take notes today. I want to talk a little bit about creating wow moments. I have any nerds in here who people would just embrace that fully? Any embrace? Okay, cool. So when you hear wow, what did you think this was going to be about? World of Warcraft. Thank you, Scotty. So, and then they get up and leave. It's not about that. It's not about that. I can't geek out like that. So here's the deal. I want to talk to you, so Granite United Church a little bit, 20 years now. Last week we had a huge celebration bash, 20 years of ministry for Pastor Miles and his wife Christy and their family. And one of the things now, we have 6 physical locations. We have 8 campuses because we treat multiple days and our iCampus like they're separate campuses, meaning separate leadership teams. We treat our campuses like they're 100 miles away from each other, so we don't do the cross. They don't serve on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday treats Sunday like they don't even exist. Sunday's like, I don't even play with Saturday. That's how we choose it. So we run it like it's 8 unique campuses 100 miles away. And so one of the things that we have learned, and everybody knows this, but we are really working hard on the strategy behind big events. How many of us in this room have ever thrown a big event? Right. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm not going to teach you how to put on a big event because you already know how to do it. In fact, what you don't realize is every single weekend you put on a bigger event than 99% of the people that live in your community know. You already know how to plan big, special events. You do it all the time. But what I think I can add value to is to teach you how to maximize the big events you're already pouring hours and hours and hours and hundreds of thousands of dollars into every week and every year. I want to help you maximize that. Does that sound good? All right, okay, fantastic. So we are old school at Granite, all right? We use Rick Warren and Saddleback's concentric circles. If you don't know what they are, I want to explain it to you. I'd show it to you, but my computer broke that, and I apologize for that. So basically, it's a bullseye and then kind of expand out, and there's these rings. This is very important. Big circle, okay? There's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rings. So the outer circle is community, okay? And the way we describe our community is they are our vision. Just like you've heard all day, everyone who hasn't been to Granite United Church yet, everybody who hasn't been to Discovery Church yet, everybody who hasn't been to Lifesong or Connect, all those churches, they're our vision, they're our community. The second thing is the crowd. The next ring is the crowd, meaning they have attended one time. They fill out a connection card one time, and they have heard about the vision. The third ring is congregation. These are frequent attenders who date the vision casually. They casually date the vision. They might be seeing other visions, but at least they hang out with my vision every once in a while and with Jesus' vision. So they are our congregation. The next circle, committed, serving, giving, groups. It's what Pastor Carey was just saying. These are the engaged people. You know what they do? They embrace the vision. They've embraced it. It's become their vision. And then here's the last one, the core, the bullseye in the circle. These are your leaders. Here are your influencers, and these guys defend the vision. When you cut them, they bleed the vision. All right, so those are the concentric circles, and I think every single one of these circles are sitting in your seats, pews, floors on rugs. I don't know how you do it, but however you do it, they are in your auditorium this weekend, this midweek service. They are in your house, okay? And we have to learn how to engage every single service or every single circle to make sure you maximize your big days, maximize your special days. And yes, what you do this weekend is a special big day. But so those are the things. Now, here are the wow moments we seek to create. So when we sit in staff meeting, one of our pastors, Greg DeCheka, put your hands together for Greg DeCheka. He's amazing. Yeah, that's right. Only guy from the Granite United staff who came in to, hear me speak. So I appreciate you. I'm going to buy you lunch. You're the man. So one of the things that Greg is really good at, Rory too. Rory, I was such a jerk. Rory, give your hand for Rory. Oh my goodness. Rory's planting a church in 2018. Yeah, in Nashua, New Hampshire. I'm sorry, Rory. I have to buy you. That's the problem. So here's the wow experiences we want to see for every person in the concentric circle. Write these down. Wow, for the community. This is the wow experience. Wow, there's a church like that? Wow, there's a church like that? And I'm using this in a positive way, not in a negative way. I'm using it as a positive thing. Crowd. Remember, the crowd, they've attended one time. The crowd says, wow, I can't believe a church would do that. The congregation, wow, I can't wait to bring you on. I can't wait to bring you with me, right? They're casually dating, but I can't wait to bring you with me to church. The committed, wow, I can't believe I got to be a part of this. And then your core, wow, I can't believe what we just accomplished. Creating wow moments in your church, strategically engaging every single one of those circles is going to be key to making sure you're creating wow moments in your church. So I want to give you some tips, tricks, whatever, some thoughts that I hope encourage you, and we're going to break it down real quick, okay? Wow. This is for the community. Wow, there's a church like that. So there's a couple of different ways we can build that. First off is this, social media, okay? I had lunch with a pastor last week, and he has sworn off of social media completely. He just avoids it completely. And I said to him, he said, well, the culture's so bad, everything's so bad, I feel like I have to pastor people's sins publicly all the time. And very lovingly, and I said, yeah, you're right, it stinks. But isn't it kind of cool as pastors now we get insight into a person's daily life? You actually know what they're thinking all the time, and you can kind of step into that. You don't have to be the Facebook police, but you have an opportunity to pastor on a level that no pastor in human history has ever had. What a platform. So I told him we did 2 series, one called Social Animal, which talked about don't turn your Facebook into your disgrace book, and so we taught people how to use their social media as a platform. Now, one of the things that I think is really neat, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, there are some churches here at this conference right now who are, last night I just went through all the people that I follow, and Impact Church, Pastor Zenzo's leading a breakout in the other room. Impact Church has a really great Instagram and Facebook page. Man, it's very engaging. If I was in the community and I saw that my buddy attended or liked or posted about this church, Impact Church, and I went to their Facebook page, I'd be like, oh, that's pretty cool. Wow, there's a lot of people there. That looks like fun. Oh, that music looks like fun. They dress better than I dress, so okay, that's cool. I'm going to up my game, my shoe game. I'm going to go there. The 508. So the 508 is a youth movement at Connect Church, all right? And they have an excellent Instagram account. It's excellent. They do a wonderful job. Grace Church, we're here. They're our amazing hosts. Grace Church has an excellent Instagram account. Just the pictures, they're compelling. It tells a story without using a whole lot of words, right? We say it all the time. A picture's worth 1,000 words. A video's worth 1,000,000. It's just, there's so many things that can be communicated on social media. Here's something that was so amazing for us. How many of you do photo booths at your big events? Photo booths. Okay, so let me explain for those of you guys. So a photo booth for us is we set up a simple portable photography backdrop. We have professional photographers, and we have hosts standing in our foyers. And what we do is we invite people in and give them props, and they're taking crazy pictures and they're having fun. And then what we do is we put an overlay on it. Check out Granite United Church, having fun at Granite United Church, whatever. And then we put it on our Facebook page. The first time, second time, third time we did it, our photographers, they were stretched pretty thin across a bunch of different campuses, lots of different services, and they were trying to, the value of it, they're like, we found out, and Pastor Greg, he'll probably correct me, but I want to say that we went from, let's say, an engagement of, let's say, 1,000. That when we did these photo booths, in a week, we hit 10,000 people who were all over our pages because they were tagging themselves in pictures, they were sharing them on their walls, and it was unbelievable, the platform we got. Now we can't do a big event without a photo booth because people just love seeing themselves in pictures. They just love it. They love it. They love seeing themselves in pictures. And so they share it, they reshare it, they tag it. It's awesome. So I'm going to blow through this real quick. Man, that church looks like fun is one of the most common comments we see under that. Here's a game-changing thought. We work 167 hours a week to prepare for 1 hour on the weekend. You work 167 hours a week because you get 1 hour on the weekend. What are you doing with the 167 hours? Social media is always out there. What you put on your website is always out there. That is what you call, that is 167 hours a week. People can be engaging, getting to know what's going on at your church, and it's always out there. And what you're doing there is you're trying to build a bridge for that 1 hour on the weekend. Another thing, print pieces. I hope you hand something out to your church. Anytime you have a big event, give them something. It needs to look good. Make sure it's not typos. Make sure it's, and listen, go buy it from somebody. Go hire a student to make something that's relatively engaging. To put a little effort into it. But give people something they can hand out. Because here's the thing. Today, when you go to the restaurant, you don't know that waitress or waiter's email. You don't know their Facebook. You don't know their Instagram. You're not friends with them. But you know what you can do? You can tip generously and leave an invite to Grace Church. Because you can help them out. Get them to church. But print pieces are big because you're reaching the people who aren't on social media, the people you don't have relationships with. You need to make sure you're investing in your next big thing. Every person in church this week has a range of relationships and influences that are untouched by social media. You need to enable them to reach it. Here's the last thing, traditional marketing, okay? Really simple, straightforward. Listen, we have a very small marketing budget at Granite. Most of it's word of mouth, but here are some avenues that might work for you. Newspaper ads, yard signs. Andy Stanley said recently, he said, if you don't do bumper stickers, you're stupid. And then I thought, man, we don't have bumper stickers. We're stupid. So Rory and I are Facebooking with a couple of graphics designers, and we're like, we're stupid. We need to get bumper stickers. How many people have bumper stickers right now? You guys are smart. Let's put our hands together for them. Put your hands together for the 3 churches that have bumper stickers. Here's another thing, guys. For your marketing, do not sacrifice your message for creativity. I remember this one time we put together an awesome marketing campaign. We were ready to go to print. We were ready to go. And then our lead pastor, Pastor Miles, wanted to sit down and look over it one more time. And he said, this is really great, except it doesn't say Granite United Church anywhere. He says, the word church isn't on here. What are you inviting people to? Looks like a club to me. Are you inviting them to a party? That seems like a really early time to hang out at a party. 9:30 on a Sunday? That's going to suck. You know what I mean? And we realized, oh my goodness, we put all this effort and energy into creativity, but we missed the message. I want people to come to our church and check it out. The community needs to know it's a church, and they need to know they need to come to it. So don't sacrifice the message. Another thing we did, I'll skip that, crowd. So, wow, I can't believe that a church would do that. So your biggest wow experiences are going to happen in 3 major spheres when they attend a service. Host teams, okay? Hospitality teams, whatever you want to call it. All right, we have a kind of a motto. I'm sure you've heard it a million times too. But think like a guest, act like a host. That's really simple, but when you really believe it, the way you host people and are hospitable to people changes. Now, here's the deal. I just saw this recently on Facebook, and I think this is big. How many people have traffic teams? This is something very similar. Does everybody have a traffic? So a traffic team is basically, people are smart, they go to the mall, they know how to park their own cars. But for instance, I just want to give a shout out to Discovery. This week, what did you do this week? No, you don't just have a parking lot team. What did you do this week? You did. I'm trying to lead the witness. So Discovery Church is an amazing church. They just debuted their traffic team. They debuted it. You know what a debut means? They celebrate them. They put their stinking sharpest people out in their parking lots in big bright vests, and they are high-fiving the snot out of everybody coming in, and they're saying hello and hey, and you know what's so cool about that? People know how to park their own stinking car. They already know how to do that. They go to Olive Garden. They know where to park. They know, for the most part, to park between the two lines. They get that. Unless it's me, and I have 4 kids, and I'm not a good parker, but most people are. Discovery Church pulled out all the stops to put their sharpest people outside, and they highlighted it. I loved how that elevated the guest experience. Listen, people expect a clean bathroom. People expect that. People expect vacuumed floors. People expect that your kids' ministry doesn't smell like a dirty diaper. People expect that. But what people don't expect, I'm talking about the wow thing for your crowd. They don't expect an umbrella when it's raining outside. They don't see that coming. Whoa, this church, they walked my wife and their kids inside under an umbrella. People don't expect that. You know what people don't expect? Your church to smell incredible. They don't expect that. They don't expect to walk in and like, ooh, that smells like, I walked into the foyer here, I was like, that is fresh brewed coffee, and I believe that's maple bacon donuts. Hallelujah. You know what I mean? People don't expect the small details, the gifts that you give to returning guests, to first-time guests. They don't expect that. They don't expect a handwritten note. And when they open it up, somebody's actual handwriting in it, saying thank you. And some of you guys are gifts, and you give gifts or parking gift cards. You know, that's an oh wow moment from your host teams. A worship experience, platform matters. Look right. Know your lines. We actually have a campus field manual that every pastor, every central staff member, every person who's on one of our campus staffs has to read. It's expected, and one of the things is the platform matters. The platform matters. And this is the thing. So use illustrations that stick with people. We're talking about creating wow moments to the first-time guest, right? Wow, I can't believe a church would do this. Use practical stories that meet people where they are, but then give them and take them where they need to be spiritually. Humor, have fun, laugh. Pastor Brian from Bay State Church, he makes me laugh every time he preaches. I just laugh. He's so funny. He makes me laugh. He's great. And I think you do it sometimes on purpose, but then I think you're just a funny guy, and you just make me laugh. And you know what? I listen to what he has to say. Spiritual truth matters to me when Brian speaks it because it makes me happy. It makes me laugh. It tears down walls. And why are we tearing down walls? To build bridges for the gospel. That's why we tear down walls, to build bridges. Singers who can sing, musicians who can play. You worked 167 hours this week. Some families have worked a decade to get somebody to church. Do not blow it because you allow somebody who sucks on the platform. Pastor Sean said I could say that. Didn't he say I could say that? He did say I could. He did. Praise the Lord. So don't allow it. Don't ruin somebody's opportunity. Limit distractions. Strategically sit families with crying babies in the back. Limit distractions. Use lighting. Set up your seating. Have transitions scripted out, and know your transitions so people don't get distracted. Remember, this is the first-time guest. Wow, I can't believe a church would spend all this time and effort and put together this excellent presentation for me. I got to tell you, I'm going to come back. Kids experience, your kids check-in. If you don't elevate kids check-in, this is an opportunity to do it. It is an opportunity. Your kids check-in. Know if a family comes from a divorce situation. They have to, right? They know if there's custody battles going on. They know if that kid has an allergy. They know if they have siblings. They know if they have cousins that are coming to church. Your kids check-in is how am I doing? Am I doing all right? Oh, good deal. All right, cool. They know how to be over-the-top gracious because they know when that single mom has had a bad day. Single mom runs in with all this stuff. I'm so sorry I'm late. Well, you should have left earlier. Or worse, you don't have a family greeter, or you don't have a host person right there at check-in, and she has to haul those kids up to class. She has to do it all by herself. Or instead, your kids check-in's the person who says, oh my goodness, we've been waiting for you. Can I help you grab your bag? Can I please carry the car seat in for you? Oh, we're so glad you're here, Susie. How you doing, Joe, Bob, and Jimmy? And man, elevate that because those things stick, right? We're creating wow moments for guests. All right, congregation, wow, I can't wait to bring you to this. Evangelism fire comes when we realize people are not just lost. Pastor Sean just nailed it, thank you, is that they're captives to their sin. They're captives. When you teach your church what evangelism is and that you're trying to rescue captives, that changes the whole game. So what your congregation, tell them, teach them. And then when you have a big event coming up, show them what it's going to do. Show them videos, show them pictures, show them how fun it's going to be. Show them your marriage conference and how really practical things were taught that can really improve their marriage. When you do a parenting series, these are practical things that will help you raise your children better, to be more godly. And listen, even if you're not a Christian, you want your kids better. Like, you have to live with them, right? So it's like you want to raise respectful adults. So that's something big for congregation. Invest and invite. Give your church non-holiday opportunities to invite their family and friends. Don't just wait for Christmas, Easter, because they're going to get invited to grandma's house. They're going to have to go to a big family dinner. Create church-specific holidays. I think those are good opportunities. Evangelism best happens when your church knows your mission. That's the word we've heard all day, is to reach the lost and not cater to the already convinced. You have to decide now that you are not going after fish that are in another aquarium. We're not just trying to swap them. That does nothing for the kingdom. But what it does do is when we go out on that search and rescue mission, that's what your congregation needs to go. So ideas. Get creative with your sermon series. You know, we've done some series like, we did this thing called Hype, and it was, we gave away Patriots tickets. They were terrible seats, but people were really excited about it. And so we gave away tickets. After that stretch of snow, it was terrible. We did a series called The Great Meltdown because people were just like, ugh. And we gave away a weekend at the Great Wolf Lodge. You know, those kind of things are creative, and the congregation are like, oh, I want you to come and see. Check it out. Put your name in. Hopefully you'll win the Pats tickets and you'll bring me. You know, like we did that kind of thing. We use creative series to get dudes involved because if a dude gets involved, his family gets involved. All right, so we try to do that. I had some images that I can send you guys or something, but we just try to get guys involved. We do Dad Fest. Father's Day used to be the worst attended day in our church, which was so sad, so we created Dad Fest, and now it's one of our top 5. Try to make it one of our top 5. So it's Dad Fest. Hot dogs, food, games, carnival stuff, because you can get guys there with food. Committed. Wow, I can't believe I get to be a part of this, so we just celebrate. How are you going to celebrate? Videos, pictures, handwritten notes, thank yous. Celebrate. Just celebrate. Celebrate. Because a wow moment for a volunteer is going to look different than the wow moment for the person whose husband gave their heart to Jesus. A wow moment for a volunteer is, oh my goodness, I just heard that person's husband gave their life to Jesus. If I didn't volunteer, if I hadn't done this for them, my life now has been poured into that guy's bucket, and he's going to be in heaven now, and I got to be a part of it. That's when you're committed. We're talking about circles. That's when you're committed has a wow moment. They're going to be pumped about the big crowd. They're going to be more pumped about the life changed. All right, so you're committed. They need to be on fire for that. Core, I can't believe what we just accomplished. This piggybacks off of celebration. It goes to the next level. These people are the ones in all the meetings leading up to the events. These are the ones that have specific number goals. These are the ones with prayer walls. We just did prayer walls this week where people put names of people they're praying for, and we put them on a tag, and we put them all over all our campuses, all of our auditoriums. The core needs to be engaged in the spiritual aspect of why you do these big events. They have to understand the spiritual implications. I did a little Facebook Live on a couple of our campus pages, and the whole thing was this, is that this was not just a cool element, guys. Is that this initial, and we had people do initials or first name. We didn't try to get all creepy with like names and addresses. We didn't do that, but we did initials. And I said, this initial to you is just these 2 letters, but this represents a family. This represents somebody's neighbor. This is somebody's father. This is somebody's son. This is somebody's son who's going to be getting out of rehab next week, and their one shot's going to be Easter. So now your core understands the spiritual aspect, because they don't care about Dad's Fest. They're in either way. What they do care about is that daddy goes home a brand new man for their family when he gets back in that car. Amen? Amen. That's how you create wow moments for your core. So we offer special events for these guys. Dream desserts, influence nights, special times with our pastoral staff. So that's it. Practical things. You already got your natural holidays. That's a bump set spike. Add a note. You should definitely do that. Create some holidays for your church. We use Mother's Day for child dedications. Back to school is naturally a higher attendance time. So we find that the national back to church time is not very good for our church. In New England, I think it's more in October sometime. So we bump it back a couple of weeks and we try to make our own holiday of it. Whatever it is, we kind of change it. But we want it to be a big deal. Father's Day is a big one. We do a Warrior weekend. We do a football weekend. And then we do invite backs after holidays. You come to our Easter services on whatever campus you're on, you're probably going to be able to text the number and receive discounted tickets to bowling, Launch Trampoline Park, and then it's going to be a Granite United Church takeover of that event. So we try to do that because we're trying to create wow moments for these guys. Wow, this church just got me $40 off at launch. These guys rock. You know, that's what we're trying to shoot for. And so those are a couple other ideas. Grace did an incredible job with Movie in the Park back in the day. Restoration Church did Movie in the Parks. I mean, anyways, there's a lot of ideas. So that's a lot of information. I have notes if you guys want them. But questions, thoughts, comments, gripes, complaints? Yeah. Man, that's so good. So this weekend, we knew that we were going to have a more reflective weekend with the prayer walls and stuff like that. So we created some wow moments. And I tried to do a disclaimer is that I'm terrible with creative elements, but we did an acoustic set this weekend. It was very toned down on purpose, people sitting on chairs, and the lighting was different. Our set was very intentional, but because we wanted to have more of a reflective service for our prayer wall. So we will do that, and those are holy moments. But I got to tell you, if we didn't prep our team, and by this, my core people were the first people up to that prayer wall. Nobody was moving until the core moved. The committed were the next ones to follow. You know what I'm saying? So you still have to walk through all these steps, even if you want an element like that to be successful. So we try to over-communicate that. Yes, buddy? Oh, man, that's awesome. That's huge. That's really good, man. So we have a great next gen ministry, and so the way we try to create wow moments is we actually give them dedicated services, but we do the same thing. A lot of our wow moments, honestly, a lot of them happen in groups. So like small groups and stuff. Maybe I misunderstood your question. So like our 412, we modeled after the 508 at Connect, and so we have what's called our 412, and that's 18 to 25-year-olds. They actually have their own service, and it happens afterwards, yeah. So some people, that's their church. But we try to create worship moments. We try to create these moments in small groups that transform lives, and our students, our kids ministry, all of our ministries in our church run through this filter of how do I create wow moments in every level. So we do the launch trampoline, we do the laser tag, we do all those things. The wow moment comes, like what you said, you had 45 newbies there. That's huge. That's a wow moment. They're like, wow, that church did that for me? That's awesome. I might check out their next event. If they do something for Easter, I mean, I'm pretty cool, but I'll come to that because, they hooked me up with laser tag, So does that answer your question a little bit or not really? Let's talk afterwards, man. Absolutely. Okay. What's up? So some of the wow moments might be as simple as this one guy, Mark, came to our church for 6 months, 8 months, gave his life to Jesus, and then we started a small group with the intention of, hey, bring your unsaved spouses, or at that time, people who don't. And so like when his wife bowed her knee at the end of that small group and gave her life to Jesus, that was a holy moment. And so all our small group leaders were led in those steps. So our small groups run through the same thing. At the beginning of a semester, we make sure that we do the same thing. Is that what does this look like for our community? For some of our community, we do basketball small groups, like an affinity-based small group. For them, they'll go play ball, and it just so happens they play with a couple of pastors. Okay, that's kind of cool. Rubbing shoulders with them, it's cool. And so every single circle impacts the small group a little bit different. So I hope that answers your question. Hey. Oh, man, we have this expression. It's 3 words. Continue the conversation. We create momentum for our small group leaders, for our campus pastors, for our ministry team leaders. We created this incredible prayer wall, but if it was only on a Saturday and Sunday, it's worthless. So now what's happened this week is we've continued the conversation, and so Monday, people were posting pictures of the prayer wall. Tuesday, they're Facebook Living, praying over all those. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And we do that every weekend, man. So when Pastor Malice gets up and shares something, we actually have a person on our staff who cuts up that message and puts little phrases together, and we share those out all week. Because one of those things is going to connect with somebody. And so 3 words for us. It changed the way we played the game in November. Continue the conversation. Continue the conversation. Continue the conversation. Well, that was a great weekend, but I don't want it to be one and done. I want to talk about it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And all the lead pastors say, amen. You spent a lot of time on those messages. Let's keep the momentum going. So continue the conversation. Staff people, continue the conversation. Please don't make your pastor have to say, please share this out. Just do it. Because it's transforming your life. It's going to transform other people's lives too. Continue the conversation so he doesn't have to.